Playing with Sims can be fun, but sometimes they just won't behave. And there's nothing I can do to make them happy. There must be a way to get back at my unsatisfiable Sims. For good. Hold on a sec. The voices in my head are trying to say something. What's that? We should just kill them all? Well, okay, here are the bosses. Our first murder MO is the most basic, but the most torturous. Deprivation. Lure some poor sap into a tiny room, wall up the door. Sit back and watch the hilarity ensue over the course of the next 3 or 4 Sim days. For added fun, trap your whole gang in the kitchen with only a refrigerator. This will take a bit longer than the solo version, but at least you'll get to listen to a lot of fruitless complaining before the inevitable end. Next comes drowning. Throw a kick and pool party, and while everyone is enjoying the cool water, delete the ladder. Apparently, Sims have absolutely no upper body strength and are incapable of pulling themselves that scant foot to safety. And last but far from least, the single easiest and most satisfying way to kill your Sims, fire. Send an ignorant sap with no cooking skill out to grill up some victuals. Surround him with flammable obstacles. Proof once again that barbecue and kilts just don't mix. So next time your Sims are giving you grief, feel free to give some right back. We won't tell. Welcome back to Extended Play. Well, as we've said, The Sims are popular, and you can tell by looking at any top-selling PC games list from the past 3 years. But now, it's not just for your PC anymore. Barely altered for its console debut, The Sims for the PlayStation 2 supplies the same life-simulating gameplay as the PC classic. For better or worse, it's a reenactment of real life, complete with trips to the can and cooking disasters. You begin by creating your virtual person from a variety of mix-and-match parts. You then oversee your character's actions and environment, controlling its social life, purchases, and mundane tasks throughout the day. You can even invite friends over for some dinner. Just be sure to keep them away from the bathroom sink when they ask to help with the dishes. What most will enjoy is what we like to call the dollhouse effect. Namely, the ability to upgrade your crib with anything from toaster ovens to fat barbecue grills. Needless to say, if you don't get into the collecting and personalization aspect of video games, you might want to steer clear of The Sims. And one other word of caution, keeping your Sims happy can drive you mad. With 8 emotions to keep track of at once, don't be surprised if your Sim passes out cold on his way to get the morning paper. The graphics aren't great compared to many other games, but they're a step forward for the series because for the first time they're in true 3D. With a heaping helping of humor and enough change to the formula for even the hardcore fans to appreciate, The Sims for the PS2 is an excellent introduction to the series for the console player. It may be a simulation, but its score of 4 out of 5 is 100% real.
Sims like this franchise has been around for a while. Dating Sims, Skins for Sims, and Sims Live and Large have been whining, sleeping, and dancing their way into our collective consciousness for years now. Making Magic pretty much lets the Sims do whatever the hell they want. Not with ease, mind you. But with a magic wand, there's a lot you can accomplish. This time around, you'll visit a variety of ethereal locales, where the locals are busy kibitzing about them thar shades, spirits, and potions. You're just an average Sim starting out, trying to make your magic bones. Yeah, let's not start Adam Sim here in Dolesville. Yeah, baby, that's what we're talking about. You'll have to feed him, change him, and get him with somebody regularly, or he'll start whining like a kid on the Neverland Ranch roller coaster. Hey, looky here! There's a hole in the ground. These are the portals to Makin' Magic's all-new mystical realms. Once in residence, you'll witness strange behavior, partake in odd potables, and witness wacky magic acts. Ample amounts of dread will be added to your potion when your sim starts griping about sleep, food, and booty he don't got. Mixing potions and casting spells all entail gathering ingredients from otherworld oddballs. Some potions require a bit of your own cultivation skills as you churn butter and gather honey, apparently delicacies to the citizens of the Gloaming. Let's try this. Beeswax, fairy dust. Oh, okay, looks like a lava lamp. Crap, a plague of snakes! Potions simply require trial and error. Great, she's in love with him after all that work with the other one. That's the great thing about this game. Things that took forever can now be achieved quickly through magic. Yeah, but it takes friggin' forever to get the goods or good enough to be magic. Unless you've got this handy cheat. Back to the salt mine, Adam Sim. Get your rearing gear. The sheer amount of task-based gathering needed for magic to be fun and some age-old camera scrolling issues bothered us a bit. But for the sheer amount of new items and the imaginative inclusion of illusion, we pull from our magic hat a 4 out of 5.
Aha!
Oh, hey!
They're back! Love 'em or hate 'em, there's a new breed of Sims in town, and this time they're busting out. They eat, sleep, rock out and dance, love, and...
Go, gal!
Yes, they will still whine if you don't give them what they need. The Sims bustin' out sticks pretty much to the traditional Sims formula, and it doesn't get easier, folks, meaning your Sim will spend a lot of time doing this. Which means you'll be doing this, while your Sim is sleeping or at work. Sims Bustin' Out pays less attention to buying, building, and decorating than previous Sims games. There are more defined goals, like inviting your lover to your house. Here is my lover. I just like saying that. My lover. Even Adam got a little something in Simland. Apart from being a bit metrosexual, it kind of looks like Adam, doesn't it? Well, I couldn't get the hair perfect, so he'll have to settle for the boy band look. Anyways, the backstory is that you've got to move out of your mom's house and build a career. That's a tough one for my little Adam Sim because he likes the comforts of home. Oops. Oh, don't cry, you little wimp. Now, if the structure of the goals leave you feeling bogged down, simply, as the title suggests, bust out and play the free mode. It's just like the original gameplay. The GameCube version also allows you to connect with the GBA, and you can move your Sim to the GBA Sim world and take advantage of GBA gameplay features, like mini-games allowing you to make more simoleons. Whatever simoleons or physical traits you achieve in the GBA can be transferred back to the GameCube. And here's another thing about Sims Bustin' Out. The game requires a whopping 161 blocks of save game space. So if you want to play, you're gonna have to buy a new memory card. The variety and new options in The Sims Bustin' Out is an improvement to previous Sims titles and should not disappoint the fans of the franchise. However, if the thought of cleaning up virtual garbage and keeping your Sim healthy isn't your idea of a good time, then steer clear. We give The Sims Bustin' Out a 3 out of 5.
Anyway, the game is out on all 3 consoles, but if you buy Bustin' Out on the GameCube, there are a whole lot of extras.
For starters, it has an unlockable multiplayer mode where you and a buddy can simultaneously control 2 Sims at once.
Plus, if you have a Game Boy Advance, there's also a Sims Bustin' Out for the GBA that can be linked to the GameCube.
How does that work?
Well, they can find out in our review of The Sims Bustin' Out for the GBA.
Okay, here's The Sims Bustin' Out for the GBA. And while it shares the same name as its PS2, GameCube, and Xbox counterparts, it's a completely different game. First of all, you have direct control over your Sim, instead of using the point-and-click interface of the PC and console versions. That makes it much easier for me to move Adam around on foot, or on his scooter. And here's the closest rendition of Adam. Yeah, it doesn't really look like him, but we'll do a little XPlay tweaking over here in the corner. The Sims for the GBA is more goal-oriented. Ultimately, these goals, like making friends or delivering items, will get you moving up from your humble beginnings in a farm. I feel a bad joke coming on. Hey, Adam, were you born in a barn? Anyways, from the farm all the way to a mansion. Adam's not there yet, but I have no doubt he'll get there someday. Well, maybe never. The pain of keeping up your Sims' physical needs is still here. Frankly, this wouldn't be The Sims without it. He's such a whiner. Okay, Adam, it's time for you to go to the bathroom. Oh yeah, and when he moved out of the barn, he got a roommate. A girl roommate. What a perv. Oh, and be careful of the town's Velocirooster. If he catches you... you end up in the hospital. There are also a variety of mini-games that give you a little income boost, like mowing the lawn, fishing, bartending. Yeah, Adam likes that one a lot. I like the interactions with the other Sims. On the GBA, it works like a little dialogue tree. Pick the right answer and your friend meter will go up. Pick the wrong answer and...
Friendly kiss, Lottie? How about a hug? Oh. Kiss me, I'm drowning, sugar. I've always wanted to kiss a rock and roll girl. From a distance, you look like a wad of taffy. Oh. I hear rich girls are hot kissers.
You get the point. The visuals mimic The Sims pretty well within the confines of the GBA hardware. Unfortunately, you can't link your GBA Sim to the GameCube version, but you can send your GameCube Sim to the GBA. Overall, The Sims busting out for the GBA is pretty darn cool. It's a great game for those who don't necessarily like The Sims, but it's also one that should appeal to fans of the series. We give it a 4 out of 5.
And your networking skills. Mingling with the crowd is essential for your success. Just like in real life, your fame depends less on actual talent than on knowing the right people. I wonder who Adam knows. But what good would fame and fortune be without fun new toys to spend it on? Superstar introduces many new luxury items, from skydiving simulator to the oh-so-trendy scuba tank. Turn your home into a swanky pad worthy of your stardom. The game strikes a good balance of tending to your Sim's traditional daily needs and working to keep your star shining. Boy, those big stars and their emotional issues. Yes, you still need to tell them when to go to the bathroom. But you also need to know how to handle the paparazzi. No, Kiefer and I are just friends. We're still waiting eagerly for the full-fledged sequel due in 2004. The Sims Superstar has enough going for it to tide us over until then. Obsessive fans of the series will find plenty here to keep them at their computers until the wee hours of the night. The linear nature of your search for stardom might even win over a few of those skeptics who don't like the open-ended gameplay of the original. We give The Sims Superstar a 4 out of 5. Now, if only I can get Sim Morgan to quit being such an egotistical whiner.
Unless you've been living underneath the soundproof rock, you've probably heard about The Sims Online. This takes the wildly successful Sims and moves it into a massively multiplayer setting. The game has a nice wide variety of features to ensure that your Sim will look unique compared to all the other denizens. That's a little too unique. Alright, that's better. Now that you've entered the game, you can start to build on your property. But instead, it's much better to go and explore your new world. Check out the buildings, interact with the various residents. Some of the most popular dwellings are one-stop shops to earn money and skill points. Though right now, we're finding that doing both can prove to be a little tedious. Curiously though, this seems to be a big focus for the majority of players. It's just a little strange to walk into a building filled with Sims but see very little interaction taking place. Now when you do start to interact with other players, the fun of the game becomes immediately apparent. we've noticed that the most common behavior seems to be rampant displays of affection. Now, it's not always successful, but you can be assured they're almost always entertaining. Personally, I have a thing for cage dancing. A quick way to get into the game's socialization is to become roommates with other players. That way you can share property and creativity. More or less, you can create your own real world, complete with petty drama. The Sims Online is a tough game to critique because your experience depends upon what you put into it and what a few thousand other people will put into it as well. The tools are here for this to become the seminal online game, but it's not there yet. Die-hard fans should jump right in. Casual players and newbies may want to wait a bit before this massively multiplayer world really starts to take form. As a result, we just can't recommend the game emphatically right now, but we will be revisiting it throughout the year. Until then, you can find me on the Mechanical Bull. We give The Sims Online a 4 out of 5.
Previously on The Sims.
Gosh, I wonder if Mickey will notice me.
Gee, this party sure is swell.
I'm gonna getcha! Who's a tickle monster? I'm a tickle monster?
Come closer. There's something I want to tell you.
Mickey is my man, whore.
Back off, bitch! Oh god, what have I done? She's dead!
That's right. The Sims are back in an all-new adventure. The Sims Life Stories. Do you doubt the idea of a Sims adventure? Spy on you. There have always been action-packed moments in Sims games, from choosing that perfect tile pattern for your kitchen to dropping a fatty deuce when you don't think anyone will notice. Life Stories is a Sims game for people who don't like Sims games. While you can still play a traditional open-ended game, the main draw is the 2 linear stories included on the disc. You start off as Riley, a plucky young girl who's burned her past to start over in a new town. She's kind of a needy girl. She needs a house, a job, a paramour. And what baby wants, baby gets. Accomplishing goals raises your aspiration level, which makes you happier, which makes you more successful in whatever it is you need to get done, from fun and games to creative endeavors. The gameplay isn't so much different as directed. Riley tells you what you need to do, and you, like legions of panting Larry the Cable Guy fans, get her done. Life Stories eases in new players with plenty of information and explanations. This will drive series vets crazy, but it helps acclimate newbies to the way the game works. Another welcome change for detractors is that a lot of the minutia can be handled by the Sim self. If your character needs to drop trow, take a dump, pinch a loaf, whatever you want to call it, she can do it on her own. It's still possible to, say, starve your Sim to death, but you have to try pretty hard. Sure, it's a little easy. You'll have to start over with all new characters. But it's hard to fault Life Stories for trying to bring new players into the fold. Just think of it as The Sims Life, and you'll know what you're getting into. A 3 out of 5. Stay tuned for the next Sims when Riley has a sudden realization.
I'm special! I'm special! I'm special!
Are you sitting back? You want to hear a tale of a fateful trip? Well, I've got one for you. This one's called The Sims 2 Castaway for the Wii. Because nothing brings out the greatness of the Wii more than foraging for twigs and berries. That's where the Wii really shines. Does The Sims work on a desert island? Surprisingly, yes. There's lots to explore here. A lot of jungle and a lot of shoreline. And also a lot of jungle and a lot of shoreline. But it's still The Sims, so you get to cook fine meals, landscape, and dance. Don't question why there's a working radio on the island. Just go with it. Did I mention the monkey? Now, like all Sims games taking up space in video game stores, you've still got to befriend your friends and neighbors, or in this case, fellow castaways. They are here for a long, long time, after all. So come on, baby, light a fire, grab a seat, and get to know each other. Because the more you get to know each other, the more you get to know each other, if you know what I mean. Of course, since this is The Sims, there is the option to change outfits. In fashion, one day you are in, and the next you are out. The Wii Remote doesn't add all that much to this adventure. To scroll through all the annoying menus with the Wii, well, it almost makes you sick. Did I mention the monkey? However, there is a mystery on this island. Yes, how original, I know, an island mystery. No phones, no lights, no motor cars, not a single luxury. But unlike other trips with The Sims, there is an ending to this game. We're just not gonna tell ya. Did I mention the monkey? Sims 2 Castaway will take up a lot of your gaming hours, in a good way. Sure, this sort of island exploring has been done before, but it's still a good tropical island getaway. If you're planning to play Sims 2 Castaway, make sure to put a flower in your hair. The Sims 2 Castaway gets 3 monkeys out of 5.
Ready yourself, you concupiscent collegiates. The Sims 2 University Expansion Pack is here. Your sim can avoid avocation for 4 more years while you streak your way to a BA in Mass Comm. Now that the baby Sims can grow into the lost, slovenly fledglings you see before you, it makes sense that you can send them to an institution of higher learning and intellectual stimulation. Just like in the real world, there's different flavors of school. We got your Ivy League resume factories. Looks like they can afford the good stuff. There's the bomb-ass high-class state school, a booty-shaking brainery at a quarter the price. Then there's the strike terror in the hearts of parents Chico State, a lecherous lyceum where partying is a prereq for every major, not just sociology. However, unlike life, university is more than a temporary diversion from the main road. Graduates from university who bothered to do well in their studies will have access to several new career paths when they're dropped back into their hometown. That is, unless they discover themselves and move to California. Come on out, kids, it's better here. Obviously, okay, maybe it's only obvious in retrospect, the main reason you go to college is to learn something. But, like staving off somnolence in your 8 a.m. class, making the grade is not easy. Take a bunch of Sims with different personalities and force them to coexist in the same household, and you often get uncontrolled chaos. And a huge mess. I have to give them some credit. This is just how I remember college. Video games, living in a pit of filth, flies. Most of the housing options are expensive, crowded, and filled with frat boys, which serve for amusement of their very own. And not for very much else. University tries to spread the myth of the humanist, the well-rounded individual, the student who does more than just study. But being the miserly misfit students are, you don't have enough moolah to get all the brainiac bling on your own. So you must get loaded. Really, really loaded. Venture forth against impossible load times that make you want to stay home, to other parts of the college campus, the student center, cafes, shops, other places where Sims hang out. The Sims 2 University is The Sims loaded. And not the good kind of loaded. It gets a passing grade with a 3 out of 5. Whether you're a single woman with 18 cats, a lonely widower with a parrot named the Captain, or a leukemia kid whose only reason for hanging on is an occasional visit from Biscuit, the hospice dog, nothing warms the heart like a cold, wet nose. And apparently that's not only true of humans, it's also the case with Sims. Hence the latest expansion pack for the Sims universe, The Sims 2 Pets for your PC. Why simply abandon your own life in favor of a virtual one when you can abandon your own life for a virtual one where you also get to pet cats, dogs, hamsters, and parrots? Although if you've ever petted a parrot, you know it's gross. They're nippy and squawky. Getting a pet is simple, either through adoption or breeding. Yes, you can make your Sim pets get it on in order to produce a brood that displays the traits of both parents. But be careful, because as a trip to any mall will show you, sometimes the products of breeding make you pray for sterilization. Regardless of what pet you decide best suits your gibberish-spewing Sim,
you'll be able to design the perfect one with the Create a Pet feature, which lets you customize every aspect of your new Sim pet. Take, for instance, this monstrosity, which kind of looks like a cross between Delareese and Daggett from the original Battlestar Galactica. Once Toopy or Doopy or whatever their name is looks like you want, you have to start training them because unlike the real world, these furry freeloaders have to earn their keep. Certain pets can get jobs in security, service, or entertainment. Teach them well and they'll be running the company in no time. Like their owners, Sim pets are endless pits of neediness. You have to bathe them, feed them, take them for walks, and play with them. Sure, it's time-consuming, but it'll all be worth it when they greet you with unconditional love as you come through the front door. Okay, it'll be worth it for your Sim. You'll still want to climb into a bottle of Broker's whiskey at the end of the day. Sure, having a pet isn't for everyone, but that doesn't stop this game from being further proof that someday we'll all just be brains in jars, hooked up to computers, living virtually and vicariously through our Sims. The Sims 2 Pets gets a 4 out of 5.
If it's a day that ends with the letter Y, it's probably time for another Sims expansion pack. Yes, nothing says milking a franchise quite like The Sims 2 Seasons. Fortunately, we've got a surprise for you. It's actually pretty damn good. The obvious upgrade is the constantly changing seasons and their accompanying lifestyle accoutrement. For the first time ever, you can plant sprouts in the spring, catch fireflies in the summer, fish in the fall, and have a snowball fight in the winter. Yeah, that's sweet. Hit your girlfriend in the face. There's also a bevy of new items to acquire. We're not sure what this thing is called, but here's a helpful hint. Don't stand in it. And this is quite possibly the worst game of bingo ever. What was that, B-24? Did you say I-67 or G-14? Oh, forget it. But there's no new status symbol quite as sweet as the ice skating rink. How many people have one of those in their backyards? Gardening is the most fun you can have with a single hoe. Gaining a green thumb is surprisingly simple, yet achingly addictive. But if pruning trees doesn't sound like your cup of tea, you can always head for the hot tub. But the most delicious addition is the ability to create plant people. Yes, every rose truly does have its thorn. The weirdest part is that you can tell jokes to other plants. Hey, how about those dead rats? Pretty funny, huh? Actually, wait. That's not the weirdest part of making a plant man. The weirdest part is that you can have sex with humans. Now, that's jungle fever. Oh, I feel so dirty right now. Actually, not even that's the weirdest part. Turns out you can have plant-human hybrid babies. When my son grows up, I hope he's a tomato. The only downside is that they don't include any new areas to explore. But frankly, we never liked that crap anyway. Who wants to visit the post office when you can stay home and watch the Jolly Green Giant spread his butter sauce? We also like the fact that Seasons makes the Sims experience all the more relaxing. There's nothing like some virtual fishing and gardening to calm the nerves. That's good, since I tend to get stressed out. Since then, I have sought professional help. Some of the innovations make the game more complicated, but you don't have to be a Stanford grad student to appreciate how much fun you're having. Overall, this is one of the most compelling expansion packs the series has ever seen. And if you're only going to buy one update, this is the one to get. The Sims 2 Seasons gets 4 Screaming Adams out of 5.